Hello guys, Nitro here. Welcome to all Star Trek Fleet Command fans, and a special hello to everyone from Don't Cry, which is a new alliance that we've created with all the top PvPers across our server, and we're having a blast so far. So, armadas and the warp trick. So I think some of you don't know the warp trick. When you're in space in which you're hostile with that faction. For example, I'm hated with Klingons, and every time I go into a Klingon system, I get these tails, right? So the regular warp trick, I think most of you are familiar with. If not, it's basically when you have a tail, you select anywhere in that system, let's say behind him, you set your destination with your ship, select your ship, recall, and then stop the warp. And that tail will now go to where you had set it. Okay, that's from any location. And that tail will continue to fly to that location unless you move your ship or set any actions within that system. So if I just move here, it'll come back to me. Okay, so now in armadas, the warp trick is still possible, obviously. However, there are two things that I suggest you to do. So when I'm in this situation, once I've entered the armada, I fly my ship to the outermost ring, the outermost edge of this armada zone. So what I mean by that is, like, I'll first get confirmation that I've joined, as you can see. Then I'll fly my ship to, and you can zoom in for this, fly to the very edge and make sure you're still in the armada. And then when your tail's following you, you go all the way to the other opposite end of the system and do the exact same thing. However, you just have to be slightly quicker than the regular warp trick, let's say. And I'll show you the importance of flying your ship to the edge of the ring in a second. So we'll just do it now. Set destination, select your ship, recall, and then stop the warp. Okay, and now let's see the tail. The tail should be flying to exactly where I set it. Okay, now the reason why I fly him to the edge, as you can see, from where I set him before, in that 1 second that it takes to do the trick, your ship will, it'll fly across the system towards that spot before you can cancel the warp, right? So if you happen to have your ship here, let's say, and the tail will start coming back towards us. If you try the warp trick now, and no matter how fast you are, right, set, and then you recall, cancel the warp, and now your ship's outside of the zone, and you might think, hey, I've done the warp trick, and you're not in the armada, right? Obviously there's like a big red warning in the middle telling you that you're not, but it just prevents you from having to redo over and over. So that's what I do. I go to the very end and then do the exact same thing. Right? So let's do it again for all of you who want to see it again. Alright, that's how you do it. And that's the warp trick in armadas. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video if there ever is one.